Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 10, Episode 10, Mama Drama. Okay, real quick before we begin, I finally understand the conversation between Margaret and Danielle when she told Margaret that she needed to have her titties done. Okay, so this is how it went down. Margaret says to Teresa about Danielle, she's been dragged and ridden hard. And Danielle said, so have your titties. Oh my God. Why do I think that's funny? Oh, I don't want to give her any credit. But just thinking about someone's titties being dragged and rode hard. Sorry. I don't know. I appreciate an insult that makes me laugh. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who it comes from. All right, this episode starts off at the Gorga's house. Melissa and Joe in their kitchen, which is their favorite place to film. And I'm sorry, did I say that her kids were old enough now that they aren't climbing all over the countertops? Yeah, it seems as though I spoke too soon. Because Joey or Gino, maybe? I don't know. Who could tell them apart? Is sitting on top of the island in the kitchen. All right, so they move over to the couch, all four of them, the two boys and Melissa and Joe. And Melissa's phone rings, and it's the fertility doctor. Of course, she puts the doctor on speakerphone. The kids are right there. Maybe not. I don't know. But who am I kidding? Because their fertility has been a family discussion since day one. Anyway, the fertility doctor tells her everything looked great with Melissa. However, there's a little bit of a motility issue with Joe's sperm. And by little, there should be 15 million swimmers, and they only found 3. Anyway, turns out he's taken some kind of a cream for, muscle. I don't know what it is. Some kind of a supplement, and the doctor said absolutely that could affect things, so he's going to stop taking that and they're going to try again. I'm concerned that all that was said in front of the boys because they're right there, they're listening, and I was really just kind of holding out for the possibility that it went over their heads. Well, if it did, it didn't matter because as soon as she hung up, Melissa said, "Joey, did you hear what the doctor said?" And Joey starts laughing. Yeah, he heard. Dad's supposed to have 15 million and he's only got 3. Oh my God. Next, we are at Margaret's house, and Jackie comes over to visit, and Margaret tells us that she is having a drag brunch. So jealous. You guys know my feeling about that. And this is going to be for Mother's Day. So all the ladies and their moms are invited, except Teresa. Yeah. She was going to invite Teresa and Nono. Nono would have loved that. Oh, me and all the ladies. But because she didn't bother to talk to her or apologize at the Envy fashion show, Margaret has changed her mind. And Teresa will be the only one not invited. What could go wrong there? Anyway, they're walking around the property that is next to Margaret's that she's selling. Remember how she bought the whole house next to hers to maybe build on one day? And now that she's being sued for $12 million, she needs to sell it. So she said, but before I sell it, I may as well take advantage of the space. So they're going to have the brunch outside there, and they're walking around and she's showing Jackie where everything's going to be. So then Jackie tells her that she is going to plan a girls' trip to the Hamptons. She and her family have a home there, and she just feels like she could show another side of herself. That this is an opportunity for Dolores and Teresa to get to know the real Jackie. I doubt it. I mean, she's going to be so different in the Hamptons that both of them are going to go, oh, I like her. No, not going to happen, Jackie. Not going to happen. I think your fate is pretty sealed with those two. The next scene is Dolores and Teresa, and they are at a spa getting pedicures. Of course, they're chatting. They're talking about how they hadn't seen each other since the Envy fashion show. Teresa said, Frankie did so good. And Dolores is like, you know, the proud mama. And then we find out that Frankie Jr. and Gia have been texting each other a little bit. And turns out that when they were very little, Dolores and Teresa kind of cooked up this idea that they would love for those two to get together one day. So they're joking about how maybe their dreams are finally coming true. Oh boy. Okay, so Teresa's phone rings and it's Jackie. And she puts her on speakerphone, of course, that's what we do. And Jackie is inviting her to the Hamptons. Teresa's like, oh, that's nice. And Dolores can overhear because she's sitting right next to her. And she goes, oh, am I invited too? And Jackie said, of course you are. I was going to invite you tomorrow when I see you at the thing. You can just, we can't see Jackie because she's on the phone, but you can just tell that right in the middle of that, she was like, oh, what did I just say? Either that or this was intentional and she's one of the better actresses because I was kind of falling for it. It does not get past Teresa, who's like, oh, what's tomorrow? Dolores is sitting right next to her and Dolores is kind of like, I got this frozen smile on her face. So Jackie said, oh, you know, Margaret and I think was trying to get a couple of us together for a thing. And Teresa goes, oh, I guess not me. Of course not you, Teresa. Really? Why would she? You guys aren't even speaking right now. Anyway, Jackie said, oh, I feel really bad right now. And Teresa's like, no, it's not your fault. And she's like, okay, hope I see you in the Hamptons. Bye. She can't get off the phone fast enough at this point. All right, now it is Mother's Day. Am I the only one who is like super worried about Jennifer's mom? I don't know how she's going to be with the drag queens. I mean, I hope good, but it could go either way with her. Over at Teresa's house, all the girls are making a beautiful Mother's Day breakfast for Teresa. Eggs and bacon and pancakes, and they're all bustling around the kitchen. Gia tells Adriana to go out to the car and get the gift for Mommy, and Melania calls Teresa on the phone, asks where she is, and she tells them she's just leaving the gym. And she hangs up and she's like, all right, we have 10 minutes, guys, and they're all working together to make this beautiful brunch or breakfast for her. You know, guys, I don't know what Teresa did to deserve these 4 girls, but she must have done something right. When she gets home, she sees the beautiful table set up and all the food, and they sit down and she's opening the cards from them. She's getting teary-eyed and it's very sweet. And then Gia's phone rings. You have a call from Joe. I can't anymore. I can't with the calls from Joe. It's jarring. And why, you know, why then? I guess it's Bravo's doing, but let them have a moment. He didn't call Teresa. He called Gia. He asks you how the girls are. How's your Mother's Day? It sounded like he was saying it to Gia. Anyway, Teresa goes, it's good. The girls got me cards and they made breakfast for me. Anyway, then they have her open the gift. Or maybe that happened before the phone call. I can't remember. And it's a name necklace. And Teresa tells Joe, the girls got me a necklace with my name on it. And he goes, I got you a necklace with your name on it. First, before we get into anything else, what was that? Are you trying to make your daughters feel bad? Like they got her something she already has? Or are you trying to one-up your daughters? Or, I mean, come on. What was that? Why did he feel the need to say that he bought her one too? But anyway, what she says is, no, you didn't. And he goes, I should know I did. And then it turns into a big argument. Did he or didn't he buy her a name necklace? And Melania said, Mom, you have such a bad memory. If he says he bought you one, he did. And she's like, I would know. Okay, don't do this. I get her frustration and it's Mother's Day and why did he have to call and do this? I don't know. I wish she could hold it together until they are speaking privately. But ultimately it's just like another day is marred by a phone call from Joe. I'm sorry, a phone call from Joe. Okay, so back at Margaret's house, the drag queens have arrived, and she's asking them if they will go and meet the ladies and their mothers and bring them back to the area where they're having the brunch, where the table is set up. Jackie and her mom arrive first, and they're delighted by the queens that are coming to take them out of the car and escort them back. And then it is Jennifer and her mom. I think... All right, I mean, nothing bad has happened, but one of the queens is like, here, take my hand. Come on, I'm going to walk you back there. Her mom grabs her hand like, what is happening here? She just looks very confused at this point. Now all of the ladies and their moms are there, and they're sitting at the table, and Melissa acts like she's just now noticing that Teresa isn't there. So she leans over to Margaret and she said, did you invite Teresa? And Margaret's like, oh, no, I decided not to. She didn't even speak to me at your fashion show. Then Jackie takes this moment to invite everyone to the Hamptons. And Melissa said, did you invite Teresa? And she said, yeah, I did. And then she tells them how awkwardly she invited her. She said, I called her on the phone and I accidentally mentioned that we were coming here today. And Margaret's like, was she mad? And she's kind of, well, yeah. Margaret admits that she was embarrassed by her own behavior, you know, the pouring the water and all that, but that she was at the end of her rope and she just reacted, which I do believe. And I know a lot of you guys blame Margaret and say, hey, she was the instigator. That pouring the water was enough for the hair pull. And I don't think Margaret was right for pouring the water. That was dumb. She was out of control. She should not have done that. But if the gut reaction to that was to grab her hair, I would understand that a little bit more, but that wasn't her gut reaction. Danielle's gut reaction was to walk over to her purse and dump everything inside her purse in a lit candle and then smash the candles. This was the whole process. It wasn't until after she was smooching Steve and Dan and saying goodbye that she walked over and pulled her hair. It's not... I mean, yeah, I'm sure she was still pissed off about the water, but it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It wasn't. You know, honestly, the dumping the purse wasn't a knee-jerk reaction because she kind of walked over slowly to do that too. Whatever. I'm not going to deny that Margaret took that argument to the next level by pouring the water, because she did. Because up until then, they were just kind of screaming at each other. Danielle did get in her face, but it went to the next level because Margaret poured water. And that's on Margaret, and I'm not defending that. There's no way I'm defending the hair pull, though. Anyway, Margaret is now saying she's embarrassed for doing that, but she was like at her wit's end and lost control of herself, really. And so she's embarrassed about that. But she's hurt by Teresa's defense of Danielle and not her. In Melissa's confessional, she said, you know, Margaret doesn't really know Teresa. She only knows Namaste Teresa. But this, like, going from 0 to 60, this is kind of the normal Teresa. So good luck with that, girlfriend. We have some tearful moments as they go around the table and talk about what the girls were like when they were little, and the moms are reminiscing and telling stories, and some funny stories too. But Marge Sr. has some regrets. She said that if she were to do it over again, she would be less of a friend and more of a mother to Margaret. And Margaret appreciates that. But I mean, I don't know if it's too little, too late. Margaret will always be the adult in that relationship, and I don't think that could possibly change at this point. You know, that's another situation where the daughter raised the mother. I dare say it is slightly Dr. Deb-ish. Certainly not to the extreme of Dr. Deb, but there are definitely shades of that. Oh, there's one other little weird story there. Some of the ladies were talking about how strict their mothers were when they grew up. And Jackie said, no, it was kind of the opposite, that her mother was very liberal and let her live with her boyfriend. And in fact, her mother got her out of a tough situation when her boyfriend wanted to marry her and bought a ring, and Jackie did not want to marry him. So she got her mother to buy the ring from him, and then if the time was right or when Jackie was ready, he could buy the ring back. Something like that. Jennifer said, how much was the ring? And Jackie's mom goes, $15,000. Okay. Even Jennifer's like, oh, my family didn't have that kind of money. Yeah. Most of our families didn't. Whoa. I can't even imagine. Well, it just wouldn't have happened in my family. But to have my mother buy the ring so that he can't propose to me with it, that's the other thing. I don't quite understand the story. What was that? I really don't understand why she couldn't, like, why that wasn't a conversation between her and her boyfriend. To just say, I'm not ready to get married yet or something. Well, now the drag queens are putting on a show, and Jennifer's mom, I mean, she's not like outwardly disgusted or something, but she definitely looks uncomfortable, whereas all the other ladies and their moms are dancing and having fun with it. When it's over and Margaret is giving the goodie bags out, she says that she wishes Teresa was there because she missed out on a good time and that she just wishes they were in a good place still. The next scene is Dolores going to St. Joseph's to bring lunch to David. And boy, David is pulling out all the stops with promoting this hospital. The jacket he's wearing not only has the St. Joseph's logo on one side and his name on the other, but on the sleeve it says OBGYN. So if there was any question at all about who he is, where he works, and what he does for a living, all your questions are answered right there in one hoodie. Dolores tries to broach the subject of what David's intentions are with her. She talks about how she's getting pressure from a lot of people, her family and her friends, and David's not biting though. All in good time, Dolores. All in good time. He is not pressured at all. Now we're at Jennifer's house with Jennifer and her mom, and of course her mother's cooking something. As always, she is like a slave in that kitchen. But they talk about the drag brunch and did you have a good time? And she said she did. Jennifer tells her mom that she's proud of her for getting through it. And her mom tells her, I didn't know they were men. Dolores told me. So cute. Oh. Jennifer tells her that she's going to be raising her kids differently. She's going to raise them to be accepting of everyone. Then she tells her mother that Gabby was a little confused, that she said she didn't know Stephen was gay. And she's like, it's okay. I mean, we all know he's out of the closet. It seems like you're the only one who's still trying to hide it. And her mom said, of course I love him. He's my child. If your child were sick, you don't throw him away. Jennifer said, but it's not a sickness, Mom. There's nothing wrong with him. And her mother really kind of starts crying then. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm starting to get very upset for her. She goes on to say that she's old-fashioned and she never knew anything like this growing up in Turkey, and she's struggling. And I mean, I get it. I get that you only know what you were raised to know and believe. And even though she is trying, it's gonna take some time. And Jennifer just said she understood, but that if you were accepting of Stephen, it would make him feel so much better. And I mean, yeah, her mom's just crying. It's sad. Next, we have a scene with Margaret over at Marge Sr.'s apartment that she has to leave because she's moving into Lexi's building. I don't know the point of this scene other than to point out it looks like Marge Sr. might be a hoarder. Now we're having a little packing montage of everyone heading off to the Hamptons. Jackie is packing and taunting her children with, I'm going to the Hamptons house without you, and other people are going to be sleeping in your beds. That's not nice. Over at Margaret's, she's having a hot flash and saying goodbye to Joe. Joe Gorga remembers all the raucous times he and Tarzan had in the Hamptons. Melissa wants him to not talk about Tarzan before he knew Melissa Gorga. Jennifer and Bill. Jennifer tells us that she's been there like 10 years ago, but Bill's never been there. Bill says, yes, you were there when you were young and beautiful, like you are now. Yeah, good save, Bill. Bill asks what the address is of Jackie's house. He said, maybe I'll come and surprise you there. Jennifer looks at him like, yeah, right. So she texts Jackie, and Jackie gives her the address. And then they look it up, like on Zillow or something. And they find out that she rents it out for $50,000 a month over the summer. And then they find like a comparison house to find out what it was worth. This house for sale is pretty similar. That's going for $2.7 million. I mean, there was a lot of investigative work there. Over at Teresa's house, she's packing. She doesn't even want to go because it's raining outside. All the ladies are riding up in 2 different cars. Teresa, Dolores, and Jennifer are in one car, and Jackie, Margaret, and Melissa are in the other car. Jennifer gets in, and she's like, do you guys like my new sunglasses? And they're like, yeah, they're nice. Someone asked her how much they were, and she's like, $900. I know, and I didn't even need them. But, oh my God, this reminded me so much of, who was that housewife? One season only she was on. I want to say Orange County. Stacy or something like that. Remember do you like my sunglasses? $25,000. Can you believe it? Oh my God. No, I can't believe it. And that's what you will be known for forever. I remember that, and I can't even remember your name or what franchise you were from. Oh God. Then Jennifer tells Teresa and Dolores that Jackie's house rents out for $50,000 a month. You know, I mean, I guess we find out that Jennifer did not have money growing up, and that might be what the issue is, but she's getting back into season 1 Jennifer, where she talked about money all the time. She's going to have to try and curtail that. Meanwhile, in the other card, Margaret is telling Jackie that she's not going to let anything ruin the weekend. You know, she's cool with Teresa being there and all that. So they get there first, and the house really is beautiful. It's on the water. It's in West Hampton Beach. It's huge. I would guess it would be worth at least 2.7 mil. So Jackie's giving them a little tour. Then she shows Margaret and Melissa to their room. They're sharing a room. And then she shows them her room. She's in the master. And she's like, let's put our things in there right away before the others get there. So just so there's no argument. I cannot help but notice. Listen, everything about this house is beautiful and gorgeous. And the room that Melissa and Margaret are staying in is also beautiful. But I could not help but notice how tiny those beds were. There's a point when Melissa is laying down on one of them, and it looks like it's smaller than a twin. That's what seems odd to me, because you know Melissa is probably teeny tiny in real life. And she almost covers the whole top of this bed. It just seems slightly bizarre to me. Almost like they're toddler beds. I love the idea of putting Margaret in a toddler bed. Now the other car arrives, and they go down to greet them, and they come in, and Teresa goes, oh, your house is beautiful, Jackie. Thank you so much for inviting me. And Margaret, thank you for not inviting me. Oh, yeah. It makes no sense at all, but it is funny. Everyone gets quiet, and finally Margaret almost kind of laughs, and she's like, okay, boy, you come in hot, don't ya? In Margaret's confessional, she's like, what is going on? Why would she even want me to invite her? She doesn't even want to come and talk to me. I mean, this is ridiculous. Which it is, but you don't diss Don Giudice. And Margaret should know that. Anyway, what Margaret says then is, my intention was to invite you. I even have a goodie bag for you. Teresa goes, just petting her hair, I don't want a fucking goodie bag. And that is where this episode ends. Should be fun. I can't wait to see what size bed Teresa is in. If Jackie gave Margaret and Melissa the primo bedroom, I can't imagine, okay? Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe, like this video if you did. Click on the bell icon if you would like notification for all future videos. And don't forget to leave a comment. I always, always, always want to know what you guys think. I'll see you next time. Bye.